Hey there, Warriors News Fan Report family. Make sure you hit that like button right now and subscribe to Warriors News Fan Report so you never miss a beat on everything. Golden State. Tonight, there's a storm brewing over the Bay Area that has every Warriors fan on the edge of their seat. Could this Wednesday's matchup be the final curtain call for our beloved head coach? It all started when whispers circulated that recent performance lapses, especially the debacle in that third quarter against Minnesota where we went from being up 4 to suddenly down 20, might have pushed the organization to the brink of making a change. But hold on before you jump to conclusions. There's a lot more to unpack before the full story comes into focus. Let's rewind to the start of the season. The synergy between Steph Curry, Draymond Green, and Klay Thompson appeared intact and expectations were sky high. Yet, as the calendar turned to playoff time, cracks began to show. First, there was the Jonathan Kuminga situation. After logging over 20 points per game since his return, the rookie phenom seemed locked into a rhythm, only to be inexplicably benched in that early Houston series. Fans were left scratching their heads. Why take out a young talent who was producing? Pundits on ESPN have been mercilessly dissecting every lineup juxtaposition, branding it reminiscent of past coaching missteps that precipitated historic collapses. Now, imagine the scene. In the locker room after that second loss to the Wolves, the scoreboard read a staggering 39 points allowed in a single quarter, an astronomical total that might as well have been a feast for hungry opponents. Steve Kerr's post-game comments were measured but tinged with frustration. He admitted the bigger lineup experiment, featuring a combination of Draymond, Kuminga, Otto Porter Jr., and the rest, simply didn't work. We tried to slow him down, but they just kept pouring it in, he said, gesturing toward the game tape where Minnesota exploded for one lead-shattering three after another. Some insiders believe that was the breaking point. Sources tell us there's chatter inside the Warriors facility that the front office is entertaining the idea of finding a new direction. But hold the phone. Is it really time to move on from a coach who has guided us to 4 championships in the last decade? Could a change now signal panic or a bold reset? Those questions are swirling like a cyclone in the minds of Dub Nation. Digging deeper, rumor has it that some members of the media have questioned Kerr's handling of Jimmy Butler's stint with the team last season. Remember when Butler was expected to be the enforcer, our Scrooge to the ghost of defense past? Instead, he looked hesitant, taking only 9 shots in crucial matchups, leaving fans to wonder if he was 100% healthy or simply out of sync. Social media was ablaze with debates. Was Butler hurt, or was Kerr mismanaging rotations to the detriment of the roster? The answer remains elusive, but the chatter won't die down. Meanwhile, Draymond Green's role has been under the microscope. In one stretch post-game, he admitted that despite his usual defensive firepower, Julius Randle's mismatch exposed some cracks. Yet, Draymond's resilience shined through. He shrugged off critics, saying, "We know who we are. We just have to get back to playing true to ourselves." But the question lingers. Has the constant tinkering with lineups, sliding Klay into catch-and-shoot mode more often, trying to find a third scorer, cost the team momentum? Add to this the plight of young guards struggling to find their shot. Brandon Podke gave us hope early in the series with Minnesota, but he went 9 for 40 from the field over 4 games, a historically rough stretch that echoed names, like Trevor Ariza back in 2014. When a supposed bench sparkler cools off like that, it sends ripples through rotations and forces Kerr's hand. Fans who stayed up to watch every possession saw the desperation flash through veteran faces. It's one thing to lose a tight game, but to concede a 20-point swing in a single quarter feels like a gut punch. The atmosphere in those Bay Area sports bars was downright electric, a mixture of disbelief, anger, and what-if conversations. Now let's talk timing. Some sources suggest management studies the big picture up to that Wolves series. And if things don't turn around soon, Kerr might not be the man to steer this ship in year 20 of the Steph era. Could that be a wise move, or are we Ignoring the context? After all, remember how in 2022 there seemed to be no dominant team in the league, and yet Kerr adjusted mid-season to get us to the finals? That demonstrated his ability to pivot when things got ugly. But now, with Steph sidelined earlier in the campaign, many argue that Kerr was asked to do the impossible. Is it fair to blame him entirely? Even the players have been cryptic. Post-game, we've caught glimpses of a solemn Harrison Barnes, once a sharpshooter, lamenting missed opportunities and lamenting, "We just couldn't execute." Others, like Otto Porter Jr., echoed sentiments of, "We need to find that chemistry again." Yet, in practice sessions behind closed doors, some insiders claim there's still a palpable sense of unity. No one is giving up on Kerr yet. That raises a big question. If the organization were to make a coaching change, would it fracture the locker room or galvanize everyone around a fresh voice? There are no easy answers, but the tension is unmistakable. And let's not forget the salary cap implications. If a new coach comes in with a different philosophy, might we see more young players get run in crunch time? Could that accelerate a youth movement that steers us toward a gradual rebuild? Fans who study the front office's record know that stepping into the luxury tax has consequences. Trading away key veterans to fit a coach's system could leave us hollowed out. On the flip side, sticking with Kerr and his proven track record, assuming he's given the tools, could be the safer bet, keeping us in contention in a brutally competitive Western Conference. So, where does that leave us tonight? Warriors faithful, buckle up, because the next few games could determine Kerr's fate. Can he rally the troops, reinsert Kuminga's energy, reignite Draymond's defensive tenacity, and coax some confidence out of those tired shooters? Could a single win streak quell the doubters, or is the writing already on the wall? Only time will tell. But one thing is certain. Every rebound, every assist, every defensive rotation from here on out will be dissected by pundits, analysts, and, of course, us, diehard fans who wear blue and gold through thick and thin. But what do you think about all of this? As a diehard dub, I'm torn between respecting Kerr's legacy and demanding accountability when our standards are sky high. I can't wait to read your thoughts in the comments below. If you felt the heat of this discussion, make sure to hit that like button, subscribe to Warriors News Fan Report, and ring that notification bell so you stay locked in on every twist and turn. Stay golden, Warriors Nation. Hit that subscribe button and turn on notifications so you're right here with us when every new Warriors update drops. Now, let's dive into what could unfold over the remainder of the season and beyond for our Golden State Warriors. If the organization decides to move on from Steve Kerr, the ripple effect would be monumental. Internally, players like Draymond Green and Klay Thompson, legends forged under Kerr's guidance, would face the difficult task of adjusting to a fresh voice. Sources close to the locker room hint that some veterans remain fiercely loyal to Kerr, crediting him for molding their championship DNA. Yet whispers circulate that a new coach could bring renewed energy, someone willing to place greater emphasis on developing young talent and simplifying the offensive schemes to offset our recent shooting woes. Imagine a bench boss whose primary mission is to integrate Jonathan Kuminga as a bona fide starter or elevate Moses Moody's confidence, granting our cellar of prospects more runway. That shift could inject urgency into practice sessions and bolster bench production, especially when Steph Curry needs a rest or finds himself in foul trouble. However, any transition poses risks. Mid-season hires rarely get the luxury of a full training camp, and the new coach would need to quickly establish trust with a roster that has operated under Kerr's playbook for years. How would Draymond respond to altered defensive schemes? Could Klay rediscover his perimeter stroke when asked to take on a heavier load? And what about emerging role players like Chris Paul? Despite his veteran savvy, Paul's arrival came with expectations to stabilize our backcourt when Steph was sidelined. A new coach might wrestle with balancing Paul's traditional pick-and-roll prowess against the youth movement that management seems keen to promote. Off the hardwood, front office strategists would be forced to contemplate the long-term ramifications. If Kerr departs or is shown the door, it suggests a pivot in organizational philosophy. Perhaps ownership believes the franchise has lingered too long in championship contention without evolving its identity. Maybe they think the window has closed around the veteran core and it's time to retool. That could signal increased trade chatter involving Draymond, Clay, or even Andrew Wiggins, should matching contracts for a coach's desired roster be on the table. But would trading away pillars of our dynasty alienate fans who've watched these names burn to blue and gold since the mid-2010s? Would the front office risk diminishing the brand's luster built on 3 titles in 4 years? Conversely, if ownership reaffirms faith in Kerr, it would send a resounding message that championship pedigree and a proven system remain paramount. The next step would likely involve reinforcing the roster around Curry and Draymond, perhaps chasing complementary pieces in free agency, sharpshooters capable of spacing the floor, or defensive anchors who can relieve Green when matchups become too taxing. Fans have speculated about bringing in a high-level wing or snagging a mid-tier big man to patrol the paint, enabling Draymond to roam as a slider. Those discussions take on new weight if Kerr stays, because his reputation for extracting maximum performance means any incoming acquisition must align with his culture and vision. Let's not overlook the amped-up focus on player development. This season's struggles have exposed the need for consistent secondary scoring. Kuminga's flashes of two-way dominance, Moody's occasional catch-and-shoot prowess, and Jonathan Holmes's energy in limited minutes hint at untapped potential. A renewed commitment to grooming these youngsters could bear fruit in 2025-26, positioning Golden State to contend even as veteran contracts expire. But balancing that long-view approach with the immediate expectation to win games and, 2, keep the fanbase electrified remains a precarious juggling act. Meanwhile, across the league, every contender watches the situation unfold. The Suns, Lakers, Nuggets, and Clippers will fawn over any sign of instability in Golden State, adjusting their own strategies accordingly. A coaching change might embolden rivals to pursue OBJ update strategies, gunning for championship glory while the Warriors navigate turbulence. Conversely, if Golden State stands firm and makes a savvy mid-season trade, it could avert a crisis and deliver a statement that the dynasty's heartbeat still thumps strong. Of course, Steph Curry's health remains the ultimate X factor. While Kerr's future is a burning question, the litmus test for any coach or organizational decision will be Curry's ability to perform at his transcendent level. When Steph drains 40-foot pull-ups or orchestrates the offense with his signature craft, it becomes nearly impossible to doubt the system that surrounds him. If he ramps up his workload in the playoffs and leads the charge, it could silence critics of Kerr's situational adjustments and emphasize the notion that, with Curry at full strength, Golden State can overcome adversity. As for the fan perspective, the stakes have never felt higher. Known for their unwavering loyalty and vocal presence, Dub Nation attitudes will crystallize in the coming weeks. Some will rally behind Kerr as the architect of our glory days. Others will clamor for a fresh approach. You'll see heated debates in Bay Area sports bars, trending hashtags on Twitter, and impassioned coverages on local radio. That collective energy matters. A franchise defined by its symbiotic relationship between team and fan can thrive when that bond remains intact, even amid turmoil. Now, Warriors faithful, here's what I want to know. Do you believe Steve Kerr deserves more time to right the ship? Or should the front office seize this moment to reset and rebuild? Could a new coach unlock ceiling-chasing potential in the youngsters, or does maintaining the status quo give us the best chance at another title? What role should the veterans play in determining the future of this organization? I can't wait to read your thoughts in the comments below. And if you're as passionate about the future of our franchise as I am, make sure to smash that like button, subscribe to Warriors News Fan Report, and ring the notification bell so you never miss a single breakdown. Until next time, stay golden and keep the faith. Warriors Nation.